Hey everyone, you're tuned into InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy. Join us as we talk about anything.
And everything.
All the stuff that makes life interesting.
So let's get to it. Hey everybody, and welcome to InfoQuench. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about The Office.
Yes, The Office, which I just re-binged on Netflix.
And not The Office, you know, you go to when you go to work, but it's the television program, the series. How many seasons are there again? 9 seasons.
9 seasons. So it's the American version that we recently watched on Netflix, and that's what this episode is about.
I have to say I am quite partial, though, to the UK version, because it's the first version I saw, and it blew my mind. Ricky Gervais is just, I don't know. He's the worst boss, but the best boss. And Steve Carell did a good job as well, though.
I love that British dry humor.
Yeah, I know.
Truly great. But we're going to get right into this because this is a rapid fire episode. So that means we're going to do a lot of facts, 26 rapid fire facts about The Office.
So that means that I can't like, lead us astray with like all these different.
But you can, we'll jump in maybe here and there with some trivia.
Oh, yes. I have some trivia prepared for you.
Right. So our listeners can play along.
Listeners, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Number 1, the phrase, "that's what she said," was said 58 times throughout the series. Mostly by Michael Scott.
And it was even said in the very last episode. Do you remember that? Yeah. Do you remember when...
when Michael makes his reappearance.
Yeah, when he makes his reappearance. I think it's one of the first things he says when he reappears is, "that's what she said." You
know what's interesting is I actually said... "That's what she said." I remember that joke, and I remember it being around. I think it was long before I even watched The Office.
Oh, yeah, big time. Me too, as well, for sure. So, that's been an ongoing thing for the longest time. But they really redefined it in a very sexist way on that show, I find.
There's so many things about that show that are just, completely politically incorrect and inappropriate, but it's...
We should tell the story about our little guy. He caught like The Office. We watch it every once in a while. He doesn't sit down and watch full episodes, but he's 6 years old, Huxley. Anyways, he was watching it and he became enamored with Michael, and he wanted a tie.
Right.
So we got him a tie.
He wanted a necktie, not a bow tie like Andy's, a necktie like Michael's.
He actually said that, not a bow tie like Andy. But anyway, or did he? I don't know. I'm just making that up, but it's just funny.
Rapid fire fact number 2. This is about Pam and Jim. So right after John Krasinski, who played Jim, after he found out he was going to be cast in the show, his first question to the casting director was, "Did Jenna Fisher get the part?" And of course, Jenna Fisher is the actress who played Pam. And then when Jenna got the news that she'd been cast as Pam, she immediately asked whether Krasinski had been cast as Jim. So
did they ever actually get together? Do you know? Like, have they ever been in a relationship, the two of them?
Not anything I'd read about, but I think that they had good chemistry and just on screen.
Oh, definitely.
So they were excited to work together. Number 3, they had to keep the temperature on the set cold at like around 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really?
And the reason they had to do that was because Steve Carell has very active sweat glands. He has a condition where he can sweat profusely and it would ruin a shot. So the rest of the crew had to freeze a bit.
Wow. Eventually, who knew that about Steve Carell?
Eventually they splurged and got some space heaters for the rest of the cast.
That is so funny.
So I actually read that in a few different locations. As with most of these, I usually try to
do the research.
Read a few different articles to get the facts put together. And
because he was sweating pretty good during that episode when they were doing the marathon.
Yes, that's right.
Because he was outside running, I guess.
Number 4, the computers that were on the set actually were hooked up to the internet. So they all had internet access. So the cast said that between the takes, they could surf the internet or check their email.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's like, who was it that was always playing solitaire? I think everybody did, really. But yes. I saw Phyllis. I saw it was up on her screen.
Yes, Meredith had it on her screen, I think.
Yeah.
Creed, I think, too. Number 5. So this is just around Jim and Ryan. So Ryan was played by B.J. Novak.
Yes.
And so he and John Krasinski, who played Jim, actually went to the same high school and graduated in the same year, 1997.
That's
and they were
wild.
even on the same Little League baseball team.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, you did some pretty good research here. That's awesome. There's no end to the things you can learn about this program, though, I imagine.
That's true. 9 seasons. There's a lot of information out there. Do you remember in the opening sequence, they're highlighting a document?
Yeah, I do.
They sort of just, as the music's playing and they're doing the opening. The document that they're actually highlighting is apparently it's the Los Angeles Municipal Code section 12.22. Anyways, it's just, they must have just grabbed some random document. And that's what's playing. That's what they're highlighting during the opening theme song.
That's weird. Why that? I guess they just needed something, eh?
Yeah, they probably, and probably someone just zoomed in on it at some point and saw what it was.
Well, that's funny because it's very similar to The Simpsons when they drag the baby across the scanner at the supermarket. There's something that flashes up on the cash register.
Yes.
And it's a number. I forget the whole details about this, but it's pretty interesting. Maybe they did it as a nod to...
It'd be more interesting with more details.
Yeah. So I any listener of the podcast knows that I prepare nothing. Nothing.
That's why I love you.
Yep.
Number 7, Rainn Wilson, who's the actor who plays Dwight, actually originally auditioned for the role of Michael Scott.
This one I did know. Somehow I read that somewhere, or maybe you told me this a few days ago.
I just can't even picture him in that role, but I mean, I guess after you get used to them in the roles that they're cast in over 9 seasons, you can't picture them in any other role.
Yeah.
And number 8,
he's one of my favorite characters.
Seth Rogen actually auditioned for the role of Dwight.
Oh, really?
Yes.
For Dwight?
Yes.
Interesting. I wonder how he would have done that. He would have been way too slacker, Dwight was the perfect character for that.
Yes, he was uptight a little bit.
Rainn Wilson was perfect guy for that character. Yeah.
He's a very interesting person in real life, too. I listened to a podcast where he's on, very spiritual.
Really?
Not at all what you would think based on the character he plays on The Office.
Really? He's very religious. Interesting.
No, not necessarily religious, but spiritual.
I thought that's what you meant. But anyway, okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
What number are we on?
We are on number 9.
Number 9.
I don't know if you remember after Cece was born, that's Pam and Jim's daughter.
I do remember when that happened.
And they're still in the hospital and Pam was having trouble breastfeeding.
Yes.
And she had a lactation consultant that came in.
Yes.
It was actually played by Lee Kirk, who just happens to be her real life husband.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's Pam's real life husband. That's
I didn't really pay attention to who that was.
Consultant. Yeah, I thought that was
Is that the guy that does Jim become jealous of him?
Yes, he feels a little awkward because he's over there helping her with the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the two of them they got married in 2010 and they have 2 kids together.
Isn't that funny?
Number 10. Do you remember the episode where Dwight sitting on a fitness ball and using it as his chair at his desk?
Yes, I do.
Right? So he's kind of rolling around on the ball.
Yeah.
And do you remember what Jim does to it?
Doesn't he pop it?
Yeah. So he actually, he stabs it, and apparently John Krasinski thought it would slowly deflate.
But it just blew up.
So I guess when it made the huge pop, you can see him, and I want to rewatch that episode because apparently he immediately starts laughing and he tries to duck out of the frame. And just because it was completely unexpected. They didn't expect it to pop the way it did and for Dwight to fall straight to the floor.
That's so funny, though. That's a good episode, actually. The dynamic between those two is golden. Just the practical jokes. It's funny because in the very beginning of the series, you really think that perhaps they don't like one another.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a slow build to a friendship.
Best friends.
But it's not until the very end, and it goes back and forth a bit over the seasons, and they do a great job of walking that line.
And the same line that they walk with Jim and Pam. The whole love story growing and stuff. If you haven't seen it, wow, there's a lot of spoilers. Sorry.
That's right. Well, I doubt anyone's listening if they haven't seen it. Are there still people out there who haven't seen The Office? Who are these people? Number 11. This is around Jim's hair. So John Krasinski, who played Jim, actually had to cut his hair for a movie role in a movie called Leatherheads. He played a 1920s football player. So that role, when he was filming, happened to overlap with the filming of the second half of season 3 of The Office. So he wore a wig. He wore a wig in The Office.
What? Yeah. I would never have known that.
No.
That's crazy.
Although I did recall his hair looking a little...
Oh, it does look, yeah.
A little different.
Less shaggy. A little less shaggy.
And I thought it just because it was a progression of the character becoming more polished, more professional as he got older. Because
when they do that video at the end and they do all the flashbacks and stuff, like his hairstyles are different, but like it seems natural. They did a good job. If you looked at
season 3, you'd really think that it was...
the marvels of Hollywood.
There you go. 12.
12 of 24
of our rapid fire facts. Steve Carell actually only watched a few minutes of the original British version of the show because he didn't want his performance to be too heavily influenced by Ricky.
Wow. Yes. Because I have noticed some similarities between his performance and Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
Like they do some things very, very similarly, and it's interesting that he didn't even watch it, yet he did the exact same things at points, you know? Like usually with his like reactions to certain characters and stuff and the faces that he makes, like Ricky Gervais made the same face, I felt anyway.
Apparently the first season was the closest to the British one, and you know, and that very much could have come from the directing that the cast was given.
Yeah.
Even without having seen the series, he may have been directed in a certain way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
John, on another note, just as an aside, John Krasinski, when he was auditioning for the part of Jim, he actually thought he botched the whole audition because he mentioned during it that he thought there was a big risk that the American version would never live up to the British version, and sort of made that comment to the producers. But
they probably really liked it because they liked the challenge, right?
Yeah, they gave him the part.
Well, he's perfect for the part too. Honestly, that show is like excellently casted. You know, down from like, you know, Phyllis to Meredith, like the cast, whoever they chose.
Oh, I know. They all fit amazing. Perfectly. And I think when you watch a series for that length of time, over 9 seasons, and you know, that many years, you really start to see the actors as the characters that they play.
That's exactly it. Like Creed, for example, like his character kind of never really swayed from being really quirky and odd, but he developed as well. You know, all of them did. It's really interesting.
And it becomes, I think, especially difficult for actors in those lengthy series roles to break out of it and not be typecast and to go into other roles. But a lot of them did it quite successfully.
Yeah, right away. Like, we'll look at Steve Carell's movie career and Jim Krasinski. Like or is that his name, Jim?
Yeah, John Krasinski, who plays Jim.
Yeah, you get so caught up in the character. Anyway.
The number 13, lucky number 13. So this is another one where a spouse makes an appearance. Nancy Carell, who's Steve's wife.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Played the part of Carol.
Who
was Michael's realtor girlfriend.
Isn't
she wasn't in very long, but she, so she was the...
He falls madly in love with Carol and has a really hard time, like, when they break up, doesn't he? If I remember correctly.
I think he proposes to her a little prematurely.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
spoiler.
I think I want to rewatch some of the scenes now that I know that that is his wife. I want to rewatch some of the scenes together to see if the chemistry is...
I just thought of something. We should watch the bloopers.
Oh, yeah.
You can watch the bloopers for each season.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
We're on YouTube?
On YouTube, or if you get them on DVD,
I'm sure that bloopers. There's really nothing better in life than bloopers.
Every once in a while, Amy and I will just like lay in bed watching these blooper reels on YouTube of like news bloopers, and man, they're so funny.
Yes, they are.
That's one of our things.
It's exciting. A little peek into our what makes us laugh. Number 14. This is around Pam and Angela, who are like arch enemies on the show.
Oh yeah.
But in real life, they're actually best friends.
Yeah, they have a podcast together.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. They have a podcast together.
I didn't know that. Yeah. But I didn't. Jenna Fisher, who plays Pam, is actually the godmother for Angela's daughter.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That's how close they are.
I imagine everybody on that show got close. And if you didn't like somebody, it would have been a big problem because you're there with them a lot.
I know. Can you imagine you hated somebody and you had to, well, I guess, it happens. They make enough money that it probably makes it worth it to show up for work.
Oh, big time. I wonder how much they make. Did you ever find that out per
I didn't
episode?
look that one up. Number 15. There's a diploma behind Michael's desk that you can see in a lot of shots when they're sort of interviewing him in his office.
Yeah.
It's not actually a diploma. It's a certificate of authenticity that he's the proud owner of a quality Seiko timepiece.
What?
Like a watch?
A watch?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that
Just
funny?
an authenticity certificate.
I didn't know that. That's so funny. You really got to pay attention. Oh, do we ever figure out exactly what that sticker is, the yellow sticker, Frogger 101?
Yes.
Okay, that's coming up then.
We will get to that
Sorry.
one. So number 60, that was me. Listeners, you can't see it, but I gave Jeff like the death stare of trying to mess up my numbered list.
Yeah, the death stare.
Because if I have to jump ahead and then I have to renumber them all in my head, it's a recipe for chaos.
I'll just drink my wine.
Number 16 is Around the Kiss. There was an episode and it was called The Gay Witch Hunt, where Steve Carell gives a kiss to Oscar.
Oh, I did see that one.
Right?
Yeah.
So Michael kisses Oscar in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And apparently that was improvised.
Oh, really?
So he was supposed to just give Oscar a hug.
Oh, go away.
But then he went for the kiss. So apparently the reaction you saw in the episode is 100% real. They went with that take. He just improvised and just went in for a kiss.
Oh, man, that's so hilarious.
I remember that scene vividly. It was hilarious.
We are watching the bloopers after we record this podcast.
Yes. Yes, good call. Number 17 is also around a kiss. When Jim first kisses Pam, it's actually John Krasinski's first on-screen kiss ever.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. And also as an aside, when he does the proposal to her, if you remember, it's in front of a rest stop in the rain. That's apparently the most expensive shot in the entire series. Apparently it cost them like $250,000 to shoot that one scene. They built the rest stop. Like they did like a replica of the rest stop. What? I don't know why. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah.
It's funny because when you're as viewers, when we're watching it, it just seems like, oh, they just found this like spot, this setting.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know if they needed a more controlled environment, and they
needed the romantic moment, and they caught it for sure. That was a feels moment.
Seems a little excessive though, but I mean,
it does.
Given how much money the show makes, probably $250,000 on a shot isn't that big a deal. Number 18, David Wallace. Do you remember the character David Wallace?
I do remember David Wallace, yes.
So he's actually named after David Foster Wallace, the writer. Oh,
no way.
And because
I have one of his books. Michael
Schur, who is one of the show's writers and producers, and he also plays Michael also plays Mose, is a huge fan of David Foster Wallace. So he decided to name the character David Wallace.
Oh, isn't that awesome? I wonder if it was around the time that, David Foster Wallace passed away. Like that as a tribute, perhaps.
I don't know. I don't know what the timing of that was when he came in, because he came in later episodes. But,
okay, yeah.
But not that too far. Not too far in.
Interesting.
Number 19 is just around. There was a spin-off. They were going to do a spin-off called The Farm, with a focus. It would be all around Dwight. So, and it was shot as a pilot, but it didn't test very well, so NBC decided not to pick it up.
Really? A spin-off?
So there's a whole online debate. I read through a little
Reddit thing or whatever?
Yeah, it was on Reddit, and it was around the idea that in the like near the end of the series, it comes out that Angela tells Dwight that her son, Philip, is actually, that he's the father. Yeah. And so the question I had was, well, in earlier episodes, they did a DNA test. Yeah. Dwight had stolen a diaper.
Yeah, that's right.
Of Phillips and had it tested, and the DNA tests had come back and said Dwight wasn't the father. So there's a big discussion on it. People speculated that what happened was he grabbed the wrong diaper.
Yeah. Well, they got to come up with some kind of explanation.
There was a bunch of what it was like that he did a family photo day at the office so that he could.
I remember this.
Get Angela to bring the baby in so he could find a way to do the DNA testing. So there's speculation that maybe Pam and Jim's baby's diaper
got mixed up,
and he grabbed that. But then other people say that the reason initially he wasn't going to be the father was to make this spin-off work.
Oh, I see.
And then when that didn't get picked up, then they circled back and decided that they would make him the father.
So the pilot has never been seen by the public, right?
No, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be out there circulating somewhere, but apparently it just didn't test well enough to even be aired.
Interesting.
Yeah. Number 20, the ring that Pam got as her engagement ring, she actually kept.
Oh, really? She was like
allowed
a
to
prop.
keep it after the show wrapped. She kept her engagement ring.
Oh, that's really cool. I wonder, how authentic the ring itself was. Was it just like a full-on prop, or?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is interesting. But regardless, I'm sure every one of them probably took something away from there.
Oh yeah, it's probably.
I imagine Steve Carell has the world's greatest dad or boss rather.
Oh yeah, remember? The mug.
Yeah.
That's great. Fact number 21. During the writer's strike in 2007, it's reported that Steve Carell called in sick with a case of enlarged balls because he basically he wanted to support the writers in their strike. Yeah. And of course, without him on set, he knew that the production it would have to go on hold.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, good for him.
Number 22. This is around the vending machine in the break room.
Oh, yeah.
Which you see a lot of.
I noticed that I don't know if it has to do with this, but just let me quickly say that I noticed that all of the junk food that's in there none of it has any actual brand names.
Well, it's actually, so it's filled with Herr's, Herr apostrophe S brand potato chips. And that's actually a brand out of Pennsylvania. So it's quite attention to detail because they filmed the show in LA, but they filled the vending machine with Herr's,
isn't that
Herr's brand.
So they did have a brand.
And if you look at the chocolate bars really closely, apparently they're called Hearsays because they didn't have the right to use Hershey's. They didn't have the rights for Hershey's on the show, so they named the chocolate bars Hearsays.
That is awesome. Wow, you really dug up some nuggets, honey. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Number 23 is around Toby. So the character of Toby Flenderson, it was meant to only be like a one-time appearance. Oh. But Paul Lieberstein, who actually didn't even consider himself an actor, when he played the role, NBC president Kevin Riley saw the episode and said he was awesome and needed to be featured in more episodes. So that's how Toby got his recurring role.
How would that feel as a non-actor for somebody like that to say, "You're brilliant"? I mean, know. That probably happens every day, but still.
And for the NBC president, he just could be like, "I'm going to make your whole career."
He is a really interesting character, though.
He is. He's very...
He just takes it.
You want to love him, but they make all of the characters hate him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And so, for no reason whatsoever.
They're always rooting for him. And he does, in the sense of bullying, he does get bullied, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Number 24 is around Phyllis. So Phyllis Smith is her real name, and she plays Phyllis Lappin.
Yeah.
Who's the character. So she was actually just a casting associate on the show.
Oh, she wasn't an actress either?
No, she impressed the producers so much that they created the character of Phyllis Lappin for her.
Oh, that's great.
And just as another aside, before she was acting, she was actually an NFL cheerleader and then also a burlesque dancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those were her careers. And Angela worked as a phone operator for 1-800-DENTIST when she got her role.
What?
So can you imagine, they're a lot of them were struggling, actors and actresses just before they were cast in The Office.
Oh, who would have known? That's interesting.
Number 25, I don't know if you remember when Meredith gets hit by Michael with his car.
I do remember that.
And she has
one.
A cast.
Yes, I do remember that.
On her pelvic region. And Jim signs it. He actually doesn't sign it Jim Halpert. He signs it John Krasinski.
Oh, no way.
He signs it with his real name.
I wonder if that was an accident or an intentional thing.
I don't know. I bet you it was probably an accident because you probably
because you're writing your name.
Yeah, you would write your name. And then last but not least, number 26 is around your beloved Froggy sticker.
Yes.
So Froggy 101.
It's a radio station, is it
right.
not?
It's the number one country and western radio station in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So the bumper sticker is said to be seen in several episodes, sort of as an Easter egg. so you can see it there. They even move it around, including like at the telemarketing company. You remember when Michael had the night gig when he was trying to make enough money for him and Jan?
Yeah.
Apparently it's there. Apparently it was at the tattoo parlor when Andy gets the tattoo on his butt.
Oh, okay.
And even in the bar scene during Threat Level Midnight.
Oh,
they show that Michael's movie Threat Level Midnight. It's there. So if you are rewatching episodes, keep an eye out for Froggy 101 because it makes several appearances.
I remember that.
I love that stuff. I love those little hidden
Easter
gems
eggs
in a
and
show.
Stuff. All right, time for some Office trivia. What do you think? You ready?
Probably not, but let's give it a go anyway.
All right.
I'll have a little drink and we'll see how it goes.
What gift did Angela give Creed in Classy Christmas, which aired in December 2010? Was it a kitty calendar, a multi-pack of underarm deodorant, 2 tickets to see the band Creed perform, or a $20 gift certificate to the Scranton Skillet? Which one was it?
Scranton Skillet.
No, that was incorrect. It was the...
Kitty calendar?
No, it was a multi-pack of underarm deodorant.
Oh. Gee.
I know.
I didn't get it on first or second guess.
Okay, I know you didn't, actually. You should have gotten that one. In the second season, Michael treats the office staff to a booze cruise in freezing January weather so he can perform motivational speaking. When Michael becomes frustrated that nobody is listening to him, what false allegation does he exclaim to get everyone's attention? The sky's falling, Dwight fell overboard, the booze is gone, or the ship is sinking.
This one I know because I remember them all in life jackets. The ship is sinking.
Correct. The ship is sinking. Very good. Next. The next one is, who was the only character to successfully run barefoot across hot coals in beach games?
Pam.
A third season episode. Well, you got to let me finish the question because other people are playing along.
I'm sorry. That's an easy one, though. Everybody remembers
Where Michael
Pam.
takes the office gang to Lake Scranton. Pam. I think Pam is correct, yes. Did she actually run across the coals, though? I want to know that.
Oh, I doubt it.
Oh, come on.
The liability, I can't imagine.
I suppose. Okay. What ringtone song repeatedly played on Andy's cell phone when Jim hit it in the ceiling on The Office? Another Brick on the Wall, 8675309, Can't Touch This, or Rockin' Robin?
Rockin' Robin.
Correct. Rockin' Robin is correct.
Yes.
Good job. Okay. What was the name of Angela's cat or sick cat that Dwight killed? Angel Tail, Sprinkles, Mr. Long Whiskers, or Princess Puss?
I wouldn't have got this without the multiple choice, but it's Sprinkles.
It's Sprinkles. Yeah, I even remembered that one. And I didn't even watch every episode with you.
She went on about Sprinkles quite a bit.
She did. Pam once participated in an art exhibit which went badly. As she was leaving, Michael showed up and bought her drawing of the office building. What medium did Pam use to create this masterpiece? Oil paint, pen and ink, charcoal, or crayons?
Oh, I feel like it was charcoal.
Charcoal? I think you're right. Oh, incorrect. No, it was, what was it?
Something other than charcoal.
Crayons.
Oh, I guess it had color, didn't it?
Yeah.
She did it with crayons?
Yep. When Andy was inviting everyone at the office to see him perform in the live show Sweeney Todd, Dwight declined by saying, "I'll be busy washing my hair," or "The beets are ripe at Schrute Farms, the beets wait for no man," or "Last time I went to the theater, a man dressed as a cat sat on my lap," or "It is illogical to observe humans attempt to dance and sing with merriment." That sounds more like them, actually.
I'm going to go with wash my hair.
All right. And that is incorrect. The correct answer is last time I went to the theater, a man dressed as a cat sat on my lap. Was his reason for not going.
That was quite specific. I should have guessed that one.
It's
Probably
true.
time for one more.
One more. When Dwight was brutally pummeling Jim with snowballs indoors, he warned Jim that he had a blank for everybody in the office. Snow cone, bottle of beet juice, pen, or wig.
Bottle of beet juice.
Bottle of beet juice is incorrect. A wig. He had a wig for everyone. So yeah, that concludes The Office trivia and this Office podcast. Thank you so much for listening to InfoQuench, everybody.
Yes, and remember, you can catch up on The Office if you want to re-binge or watch it for the first time and you just listen to this entire episode not knowing what we were talking about. Catch it on Netflix.
Watch the bloopers, maybe. Okay.
Yes.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
And remember, you can catch up on past episodes at InfoQuench.com.
Or just about anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And help spread the word about InfoQuench.
Till next time.